So today is one of those days, a day that I don't want to go. But this is also one of those days where I'm still going despite the fact that I don't want to go. And so instead of being ashamed of myself for not wanting to go, I am proud of myself for actually going. So this is really about how you frame the situation, how you react to what happened instead of actually reacting to what happened is the wrong way. Just that it's not what happened to you, it's how you react to it. Anyway, the reason being is yesterday with the deadlift session, I went way too hard. I'm really tired, I'm really sore, and I'm not on creatine. I went on yeah, I fucked up pretty much everything yesterday because I went on with my friend, we went out late. Anyway, I didn't sleep that much. I don't care. But as I said, I knew at the beginning of this year, and I already told you in the past that one of those days will come. And so when this happens, I will make sure that at least I show up. This is to be consistent. You need to have flexible standard, because I have very high standard for myself, but depending on those days, the motivation won't be there. And so that's okay. That's not something you should fight against. What you should believe in is the idea of consistency, just showing up. Just showing up is enough. Then when I'm there, if I just want to eat a few balls and come back home, that's fine. Just do it. That just means that your body is not ready, you are not ready to perform. And so, but at least you showed up. But I'm not going to just eat a few balls and come back. We are still going to do somewhat a decent session. Probably maybe 15-20 balls just to warm up. Then moving on to the speed stick, because the speed stick is really the key thing that I want to fix during this mesocycle. Because as I told you, the speed stick is really about creating synergy between my driver and the speed stick in general. But at the moment, I'm just using the blue stick, which is a middleweight, because I just want to create that synergy between my swing and the speed stick. But once that synergy is created, during the next cycle, we will actually start over speed training and following the super speed protocol and everything in order to gain a massive amount of speed. But the key here is going to be that I will have built a strong foundation before I do so. That's kind of the main goal here. And also finalizing the detail about my swing, getting as close as possible to Rory swing. One of the key things that we are going to work on today is actually maintaining spine angle in the downswing. There is a few things going on here that I believe are the issue. One that is mainly with the lower body. I think in the past when I worked on speed, I kind of interpreted the wrong way, but I am using the torque in a way that doesn't really, or at least causing some issue. The way I'm doing it is I'm kind of pushing into the ground with my right foot forward. And so what I'm going to show you just when we are on the run, but I think that's what is actually driving my right hip forward instead of just creating this torque rotation. And so a way that I want to do, but that's kind of a little bit not confusing, but strange to think about it, is actually trying to rotate using the front of my feet on both feet. Meaning, with the left foot, that's kind of obvious. You push with the front of your feet in order to get your hip back. Okay, that's kind of obvious. But what I was kind of doing is I was kind of pushing behind me with my right foot, where here I want to kind of push in front of me while still being able to create some rotation. So I'm going to have to kind of push forward, but kind of at 45 degrees in order for me to, when my left hip is clearing, that my right leg is pushing against my hip, so my hips keep bumping, and then once the left hip and the right hip pass kind of the 45 degree angle, then the power of the right leg that is pushing into the ground very high is going to take over and finish the rotation. Kind of what I'm thinking. It starts training. Yeah, you know, when things go wrong, generally speaking, they just keep going wrong. So I shouldn't be surprised. Anyway, so that's kind of the first thing, because I know that to maintain the spine angle is a lot about the right hip. And so I think that might be why the way I was kind of doing the torque is probably wrong. So that's just a very subtle thing, but I think that makes a big deal. Also, there is this elbow thing that you remember we've talked a lot about, where I think the reason I'm doing it, and that's also as I'm evolving through since I came back from the holidays, with the key understanding that I had about Rory's swing, my swing is slowly evolving toward the final version. I can feel it. That's why I know I'm really on the right track. And the more I do that, the more I realize I'm able to use more and more my lower body. But I'm still about 50-50 lower body driven and upper body driven, where I believe Rory is pretty much somewhere around 80-20. 80 lower body, 20% upper body. So that's something I need to really start looking into. How can I just keep my upper body as still as possible? Just leave it there and let it be pulled by the lower body on the way down, and try to still build lag doing so. So that's kind of complex to explain that I'm showing, so that's why I'm going to show you that in the range. So let's get to it. Oh, happy days. Oh, happy days. So let's warm up and start working on things. And as I said, since the goal of this mesocycle is mainly consolidation, we are going to do a lot of irons and a little bit of wood. I'm going to eat the same club I'm usually eating, 8, 6, 5 wood and driver. But I'm going to spend a little more time on the iron and the wood, just to check with the camera if the club is on the right plane and everything. It's just that in terms of consolidation, I want to also stabilize my swing across all my clubs, because we've been doing a lot of work on the driver. That's fine. That's going to be the main theme of the wall here, but I still need to get the other club to the same level. So let's get started. Just eat a few balls, and we'll start taking a look at the camera. And after I eat 8, 6, 5 wood and a little bit of driver, we'll move on to the speed stick, where we're going to make some really good work here. Oh, I'm so sore from the heavy deadlift of yesterday. That's not even a joke. Wow. So also something that I try to remind myself here is kind of not getting the hand too far forward. And so because since I'm doing this and I'm starting, this is very easy to actually get the club started already. So what I'm thinking is, actually at the beginning, almost feel that my hands are moving that way, to really get the feeling that I'm at rest, I'm keeping everything still. But once the hand have start moving that way, immediately start doing this motion. And anyway, that's kind of the little subtleties here. I'm trying to just keep a really nice posture at rest. I don't really feel the width here. Okay, let's take a look at the camera, because kind of want to see stuff. Not sure it's going to be a good session, given how. Well, I mean, maybe with it's just that I will need a lot of more balls to get warmed up enough. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to stick here for a while. We'll see. So steer the club across the line with the iron. That's really something. If I do the exact same swing with the iron I do with the driver, generally speaking, I get across the line. So I thought by getting wider and so on, creating more torque in the swing, I would actually fix that, but it doesn't seem to be. So I don't know if that's something I need to kind of tweak in the transition, or maybe I don't know. There's something here I don't get. We'll see. That's really the issue. Because until now, the only way when I'm actually good on my swing is when I actually start tweaking things with the iron, starting to try to feel that I'm flat at the top. Yeah, I would want to avoid that, but I can't find a way. So for me, that's really annoying. I just can't find a way to avoid that. Here I'm tweaking things. I'm not swinging the same as the driver. I'm just trying to feel something a little more flat at the top, and you can see that allow me to actually get on the right plane. But I don't know. Also, it feels so weird. Yeah, that's sad, but swing feel weird. Probably just feeling that the left arm is getting very extended and flat at the top. Pretty much the only thing that uh, I mean, if I do things differently, I would like things to be very simple. So maybe having this feeling at the top with the iron and kind of this feeling at the top with the driver might be the only thing that I can make is with a very little difference. It seems also in the transition this is something different. Well, okay. Except I really don't feel the right motion at all here. And maybe this just the width. Maybe the width is not good, and since I'm getting the shoulders around, let's stop overthinking things and just trying to make things right. Yeah, and the wider I get, the more I'm going to be able to get to keep the club on the right plane. It does that. I guess. Not totally. Let's do it even more then. That's slow. Okay, I guess that's enough for the 8-iron. No. Kind of try to do the things right here. When I'm wide, then shifting, rotating, and compressing. Do it again. Or maybe this is that wide, and then because when I try to build the lag, I actually get across the line. So maybe with the iron, I stay wide, and I don't try to build the lag. I stay wide, and I just try to come down the right way. Okay, not good enough. A little better. A little better. Little hilly as well, but getting very close to a nice socks. Okay, let's try to keep the club even more flat at the top. Since it's already quite late, the breakfast, which is for me a brunch, since I'm eating it around 1 p.m., is quite already a long way. So I need to eat something. Well, that's interesting. Okay. So one, and then really trying to kind of keep it flat. This distracted me. It cracked on my shoulder. No. Sorry for that. I'm thinking that maybe I'm not going to put that microphone here when I'm here eating on the rain and there is nobody, because you can hear all of my mouth sound or nose sound, which is pretty awful. So I might just put the microphone on top of the camera when I'm here. Might be a better idea. I'm getting a much more neutral ball flight as well. Well, that's kind of a little better. Okay, no, that will make sense. And let's test if I kind of try to bull lag as I'm doing so, probably I'm going to do it a lot more across the line. And hit a slight draw. So that kind of that can be something interesting, and I know Rory is actually doing it. Sometimes you can see he's hitting big draws with his kind of longer iron. And I believe that might be, maybe this is also that he's doing to get a little more power. He kind of build more lag, but doing so, you get a slightly across the line, and the club is dropping more inside, which causes a much bigger draw. Not as big as me, but I don't know. You see that by doing so, I can generate slightly more power, it seems. Oh, fuck it. Yeah, but that's still faster. Okay, anyway, that's a good thing. Yeah, 10 shot, perfect. Moving on to the 5 wood. So yeah, at the top, you stay wide, and you just stay wide. You just stay wide. Don't try to build a lag or anything. You stay wide, and you activate your lower body to kind of arrive in the right position. So. Oh, that's something I haven't tried. The idea we were talking about in the car, but so until now I was kind of pushing my right foot like this when I go down, and so that might be why I kind of get out of my posture. But I want to try here. So the left foot, I do that, which causes the left hip to go that way. But what I want to do is try something kind of that way with the right leg. But if I do that, normally I should do that. But since I'm bumping on my left side, since I'm bumping on my left side and I'm pushing a little bit with my left foot, if I push 45 degrees that way, like that, that might help actually maintaining the spine angle while continuing the rotation. I know that's weird, but hear me out. Let's try that. Okay. Actually, that wasn't that bad. Okay, we are going to continue that with the 5 wood. And I believe that might be what I was missing here. And the club was perfect. Okay, so that might be also a thing here. Maybe the fact that I was getting out of my posture, getting the club across the line. Okay. A lot of interesting stuff here. Let's see with the 5-wood, though. Oh, 5-wood is going to be a little special because I don't know. Also, that's something I might consider changing my weight because until now I was kind of using the swing weight to kind of remove the effect of having to change. Because, see, a club, the longer the club, the flatter your angle here. And so the more the club is going to want to go flat. Whereas with your wedges, you're much more vertical, and so that's much easier to actually get across the line. So basically, you have one club, one only, with which you are going to get perfectly on plane, and everything shorter than that, you are going to get across the line. Everything longer than that, you are going to get flat. So that's primarily how the golf swing works. Then, the best player in the world actually finds solution to avoid that. One of those are actually creating a lot of torque, because when you create a lot of torque, you create a tremendous amount of force on the golf club. So the variance between club actually reduce. Then you have Bryson DeChambeau way. You just have one length club, so you don't have to care about it. Or there was also the way I tried to do it, but I haven't. I kind of have a set that is roughly okay. Is the shorter the club, the heavier you go, and the longer the club, the lighter you go in terms of swing weight. Meaning, with my wedges, the reason is simple. Is with the same plane here, by getting it a lot heavier, you are making it tougher to get across the line, and by making it lighter, you make it much easier to get across the line. So the longer it is, the lighter it should be, and the shorter it is, the heavier it should be. So basically, so my set is pretty much built like that. I don't know if it's perfectly balanced though. That's kind of is the gap that I have between club in terms of swing rate is too wide, too little? I don't know. There is still a lot of things that I need to uncover here, but at least this is a way. I have a progressive swing weight throughout my actually a degressive, because the short club are extremely heavy, and my driver is D0, where my wedges are somewhere between D8 or D9, which is not enough. Actually, what I would want is a wedges. Oh, sorry, I completely forgot to record the screen. Oh, here it is. Sorry for that. Anyway, you don't see what I've been talking about. I think I'm going to have to record it later. I'm going to kind of do a fake live. I've done it before. I can't do it again. Anyway, I don't know what I was saying. Yeah, my wedges, I kind of want them to be somewhere around E0, E1, maybe even heavier. It's just that that's not something I can find. That's not something. I haven't tried to add metal bands on it. Maybe that would help, but I don't know. I think that's going to fuck up the whole balance of the club face. I'm kind of worried about that. Well, I don't know. I need to test. I really look forward to the moment where I will be kind of sponsored by by a big company, where they can do whatever they want with the club. I have some prototype, but I'm not there yet. So, 5-wood. Let's do it. Keep the hand. With the wood, I almost try to get my shaft completely vertical here. Almost having the feeling that the face is slightly closed, but recording fail. Okay. Weird. Yeah, That's difficult to focus both on the top of the backswing and the lower body pushing the right way. So I might just focus on the lower body at the moment. Ah, it seems better. It seems better. Not sure. No. Yeah, I might have to do both. Really difficult. That's so funny because I'm worried that I'm going to get way too vertical on the back swings, given the sensation I have. But actually, I'm absolutely perfect. So something I should not worry about. Yeah, but that's not a good swing. Good ball, but not good swing. I mean, every time I hit a good ball, probably it's just that I'm getting back to my old demons. No! Focusing on too much things at the same time here. Width, more width. Oh. Okay. I completely missed the ball, to be clear, on this one. So yeah, I try also to work on more verticality and so on, but that's way too much. I'm going to focus just width, having a lot of width, and being able to do a good downswing. We will see verticality later. Verticality is much more my arm at the top, my hands are kind of too much behind, try to get them a little bit higher. Anyway, I cannot focus on everything at the same time, so let's okay, felt better. Okay, look better, feel better, so. No! Didn't feel better, this one. Water, I need water. A bottle of water, a bottle of water, a bottle of water. The slowly that look a little more like Rory's. Not there yet, but slowly we get there. I'm gonna have to work a lot on that. Tell you, okay, I'm wide, and then I shift the leg and really just drive the lower body through here. No. Wasn't good, this one. Felt it. Actually, in terms of looks, wasn't that bad. Attack angle 0. Ah, fuck it. Okay, one last and we move on to the driver, because at the end of the day, you should progress with the driver as well. But this year is all about driver. Next year will be all about woods and irons to be able to score. Let's start looking a little better. Oh, fuck. Okay, moving on. Of course, I'm going to have some misses like this. So just 5 balls with the driver, and then we move on to the speed stick actually. So because I'm very not satisfied with the speed stick, but I guess we'll get there. Oh. And maybe it's just because I'm not active enough with my lower body. Yeah. No. I'm fighting against a hard, deep down anchored pattern here. So a lot of it are going to no. Oh, I like it. Just the way it finished the top of the backswing. Nah, not that. Not that. Try to focus only width and building the lag here. Okay. Felt a little better. Didn't get it. Motherfucker. I guess TrackMan is not well positioned here. I don't know. Seems weird that he doesn't get it. Maybe a little more like this. Last one, and then move on to speed stick. So shaft completely vertical, normally. At least this is what I try to film. Try to get the ball a little more forward in my stance will help as well. No? Don't want. What is the issue here? The ball is exactly where it's supposed to be. So why are you bothering me? Please, don't. Okay? Okay. So as soon as I reach the kind of the halfway point here, it's about kind of really shifting the hand and exploding, and it seems that it generates quite a lot of power. Almost gone too far. Maybe I can actually go even shorter than that. Actually, now I realize that the first swing that actually recorded the swing speed, the club speed. We haven't got any data so far on the swing speed, on the club speed. Ball speed we had, but I might get a little long here. Let's hit one more and then we move on to the speed stick. But I kinda start feeling the motion, just I'm not used to it. Also, I know I said the last one, but I want the last one, another one. Try to do the thing that I was talking about with the lower body here. No, I didn't do it. At least not to the extent I wanted. Anyway, we move on to the speed stick. We're going to see how that look. Okay, somewhat. Okay, not perfect. That's better. That's better. Speed stick. Oh. That's kind of. I want to feel the width, the shift and black, and then kind of. Oh. Let's try to feel the ground as well. Almost, I'm so close. I start feeling the dynamic here. I'm getting closer. That's really that. This is really bad. The width here, then shifting, bridging, and redriving the lower body. The release. I feel that my upper body is still activating a little bit, which get me a little bit over the top. But when I go down here, I really need to kind of feel the lower body driving the motion through and whipping the club through. And maybe it's already a little too much. I don't understand why I don't get the speed. Maybe that's the light. I don't know why. It's really weird. Anyway. Also, I'm kind of keeping an eye on the down the line view because, first of all, the camera is face on. So I'm doing sorry. Before, when we were doing the changes here, we were focused on changing things. So I wanted to have a clear feedback as soon as possible in order for me to make as many changes in as short period of time as possible. Here, that's quite the opposite. I want to stabilize. So, but I still have a little bit of things to work on in order to improve. But so the idea is, okay, I want to delay the change and emphasize the stabilization. So if I work on something that will make my face-on view look better, I need during the session to check that the down the line view stay good while I'm working on the face-on view. That way, on the evening, when I see the video, I will see, okay, this has made an improvement or not. So the rate of change is going to be a lot slower, but that will promote stabilization overall over the course of this mesocycle. Where if I do the opposite, for instance, if I want to change something on down the line view, if that's exactly the real thing that I want to work on, I will put the camera more down the line and the iPhone on face on view, so to make sure that the thing I'm working on down the line doesn't affect actually the thing on face on view. Anyway, that's just a way to delay a rate of change. That kind of I'm not even sure that's something that terms that people use, because that's a term that is very important to me, because my rate of change historically speaking been very, very high, daily basis, multiple time in the same session. So I kind of try to build as many strategy possible to control that variable, that rate of change, depending on what I'm looking for. If I'm looking for changing things, then I'm going to have a higher rate of change. If I'm looking to be performant during competition, which I'm not at the moment, I'm looking to have a rate of change that is pretty close to, as close as possible to zero. I want no change at all. That's why this year I know I'm going to do a lot of change. That's why I don't really care about competing, since all the changes that I'm going to make are going to make it even tougher to compete. So that's why next year, that's not going to be about making changing. Actually, that's going to be quite the opposite. That's going to be about consolidating everything to the point where nothing changes at all. And I'm able to consistently being able to come back every single day doing the same FM thing as close as possible. Anyway, so with okay, I think that's enough for the speed stick, and what I'm happy with is that it actually starts feeling good in terms of dynamics. And let's actually switch. So let's put a tag for a speed tag, which is going to be, tags are important with TrackMan because you want to contextualize what data is. That's my actually background of data scientist. To understand data, you need to context. And using tags when training is extremely important in order to give context. Anyway, let's hit one. please hi, did you get the club speed? Because I believe the club speed was pretty fast. Please get the club speed. Why don't you want to get the club speed? That's insane. Oh, sometime, I know. Sometime it's too close. I need to get a little further here. It's much slower. It should get it here. I hope so. No? Oh, that's the only thing I'm working on and I can't get the data. That's annoying. Okay, we got the data. And that one was slower, so that video was kind of a little bit more than that. Okay, let's try one with a full send. Okay, 113.5. So that's, we start finally getting into something that is nice. So I try to kind of give a little more verticality here. I think that might be why I start getting, yeah, much better. And as I'm going to actually get more width, more torque, the backswing is probably going to reduce as well. So let's just try. Okay, we start getting somewhere, guys. Start getting somewhere because I'm really tired, and yet we are able to. Well, so that's for sure. I'm getting a lot of cross the line, but actually, I'm thinking that let's try the iron stuff here. Try to just stay a little flatter at the top. Okay. So yeah, maybe just I need to kind of not change anything, but just kind of feel the club that you move kind of that way. I just go and do my swing normally. So for sure, and I'm not sure this is looking perfect on the face-on view, to be honest. I think, yeah, because even here I can see from down the line that my right elbow is still down. But over the last few sessions, I was kind of struggling to understand how to generate speed. Now I know, and if I want to kind of rip one, should be easy. Yeah, almost 114. little hilly. Yeah, I'm getting a little long, but that's probably because of I'm not creating enough width. But we are just starting the stabilization. The speed stick is just barely, I'm not actually over speed training. I'm slightly over speed training, to be honest, because the blue is slightly lighter than the driver, so a slight over speed training, but I'm not. When the work is actually going to make the big difference, when I'm going to start working with all. Here, what makes a big difference is I start getting the sensation for the flow of the swing. And that's the most important. Yeah, I feel it. Here, I'm using my upper body a little too much, and that caused me to go over the top a little too much. Where if I kind of go with the lower body a lot more, I will be able to come down a little more from the inside, I believe. Let's try to focus on that. Just yeah, when I focus more on the lower body, much easier to come from the inside. It's a little harder to generate power. Okay, let's try to. That's weird to hit fade for me. Not used to that. Yeah, I start getting flat again. So I really need to focus on more verticality as I'm doing it. Oh, and maybe this is that I was getting too flat, and so with more verticality, it's much easier to come from the inside. Of course. Of course. And we go again. Don't have any data. That's, of course, by getting that much across the line, I will not have any issue. Toey. The one before and this one completely toey. That's why they are getting so much left. I need to be a little more aggressive with the reset here. I believe that in the camera we will see that at the halfway point here my club is still not set, and that's probably why I'm long on the backswing. But we are getting an average that is pretty high. And yes, because now the average is only going to be after speed stick. We don't care about the average before because the backswing look actually pretty nice here. Because I fucked up the downswing. Yeah, so because before we were kind of just since we were working on technique anyway, there wasn't any reference point in order to have speed. So I was just on the thumbnail of the video. I was kind of putting only the top speed of the session. But here for now, I'm going to be posting the average for the speed part, to be honest, because this is the average that is important. Only when we are starting to reach above 120, 125 and so on, at the end of the year, where the goal of reaching 130 is just a one shot. It's not about being able to hit 130 on the golf course. But so at that point, at the very end of the year on the thumbnail, I will put back the actual max speed. But here, the goal is only to focus on average speed and getting that average higher and higher without putting, at the beginning, not more energy, but throughout the year we will put progressively more and more energy. But at the moment, just staying 80%. Because if I try to kind of go all in with one, how does that look? Yeah, but okay, almost 115, but I mean that's not all in, but and maybe I'm because what I'm doing here is kind of set the curve, but maybe I should kind of do something else here. Kind of close the club face. I don't know. I need to think about it. Anyway, yeah, this is tiring. That's probably because I'm tired as well. Imagine that we are going to be doing that for 200 balls after. Insane. I mean, not 200 balls. Actually, the warm-up before is going to be 120 balls, but then we'll move on to I'm pretty excited here, to be honest. Because we're going to get close to 115. I would like to be able to get a 115 average. That's going to be difficult, but that's like nowhere close, because last time where I was kind of working on the speed stick, I wouldn't say that I had kind of at the beginning a 105 average, but it was more like 107, 108. That wasn't that crazy. And using the speed stick and so on, and actually speed training, I've been able to get very close to 120 and even surpass it eventually when I did last year my 6 months of speed training. And so seeing here that at the beginning, because we are really at the beginning, the first 2 months was just a technical foundation. Here I'm not really working on speed, I'm just trying to figure out the right motion, the right flow of the swing. But when we get that going, the flow of the swing get going, yeah, we can start do some pretty interesting stuff. And where I want to see the massive difference is with the green speed stick and the shaft, because I have a shaft right here where I'm swinging with, and the thing that's bothering me is until now I was kind of swinging the same way faster, but just swinging with the right arm, and when I put my two hands on, I was kind of swinging slower. So that just means that I had a highly inefficient swing period. And so what I really want to see is if with the new paradigm and so on, I'm able to swing as fast or even faster with my two hands on the shaft rather than just one hand. And that's going to be a very the key thing, because I was kind of plateauing at 135, 136. I believe that was my best with the green speed stick, and with that I was unable to go faster than the green speed stick, despite the fact that there is no weight. Where when I was swinging with just one arm, my personal best is 170 miles per hour, just with one arm. So that's why I say that there is a very big inefficiency in my swing, and I hope that I'm going to fix it, because yeah, I think I can. Because sorry, I'm so hungry. Hungry? No, hungry. Yeah, you're doing that? Oh yeah, definitely feel like much faster. We'll see. Don't want to hurt myself, because this is very dangerous to do that. Shouldn't do it without being careful, and you shouldn't do a lot of it, like 3 to 5 reps and not consecutively, when you do one or two at a time, that can be very. Hey, I just did one and I already feel a little bit of pain on my elbow. So yeah, this is very dangerous. So don't be careful if you do it. Anyway, I start getting tired. I want to go home. I think that's still somewhat a good improvement here. So I'm happy with that. Just that probably I don't have. I mean, I don't know. So try to work on more verticality here. Didn't see it. Or why I went. Now that was a chill swing. Yeah, I want to set the club faster here. Yeah, I've cooled down after my after the talk here. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe once I'm set here, I kind of try to get really flat, because then once I come back down, I kind of get the club real across the line when I come back down. So okay, let's try that. Sure, thrower for sure. Okay, it seems that this is that. I need to get more vertical at the beginning, but kind of flat at the top, because then when I transition, I kind of get more across the line. So no. There's something that starts feeling. Okay, when I'm already here, transition, and then I need to really kind of explode up with the lower body. And I'm not doing it at the moment. And I think this is why. Yeah. Once I've built the legs, it's just about exploded vertically and up with the lower body without caring. Let's try to go all in. Let's go. I mean, when I say go all in, it's just understand that for me to be able to go all in, I need a lot of ball at very high amount. Here, when I try to go all in, I'm somewhere close to 90%, 85%, 90%. If I should give an exact number on this one, I'm hesitating between 89 and 92. Somewhere in that range. That wasn't what I wanted with the lower body though. No. No. Didn't get it. Yeah, because there are a lot of things going in my wrist when I set, instead of cooking the wrist here, which actually kind of open the club face, I need to kind of build a stronger club face here. As I'm building the line, that's going to create less wrist angle, which I believe the wrist angle is what creates this long backswing, and allow me to come back down a lot stronger. Was slow. I work on the verticality a little. Here we've got to work on a lot of stuff. I stopped using the good ball, so distance is a lot shorter. The question I'm thinking is, are my hand too low on the way down? Maybe I should keep them a little more forward here, kind of compensate. So here, and then kind of building the web, but trying to keep them forward. That's weird. Nope. Didn't help. No, it's not. It's not it. I mean, maybe I'm just overthinking it, which wouldn't surprise me. So let's try to do exactly what I'm doing, but just get a little flatter. Don't get across the line. Let's just try to do it, but with more flat motion. Yes, simple. It's the exact same swing. It's just that I try to feel I'm getting a lot more flat. And then if I do it with verticality, yeah, sometimes it's just about rewiring your feelings. I mean, that's not that bad. That's not that bad. A little overstretch here. I'm not. No, almost. I want to kind of try to set the wrist a lot sooner here. I need to be careful because those one are going to be the one actually I'm comparing my swing with. So yeah, so just let's try to not fuck things up, and actually make two last good swing. Okay, let's just try that. So posture here. No. Nope. Okay, last swing. Let's go. No. You don't got it. Ah, you did it. Okay, that's it for today. I'll see you in the car. Go. So I was kind of chilling at the clubhouse when I realized Victor Hovland is actually in the lead and fighting for a win. So anyway, yeah, because Victor Hovland is one of my favorite players. Rory, of course, but Rory is kind of special. I don't root for Rory. I want to beat him. That's completely different story. Well, Victor Hovland, I kind of like him. I don't have this adversarial issue with him, let's say. Anyway, that's another story for another time, all of that. This session, interesting. It's just that I got carried away a little with the speed, and that's you've seen a lot of times. Every time I kind of make a breakthrough in terms of speed, then I get carried away with doing things and so on. Also, I'm start thinking that I may need to have some feedback on real time from Faison, because I think one of the key issues that I started to have today, I wasn't setting the club fast enough. And so that's something I need to kind of work on. And also I want to see my right elbow, even though I know I said that I want to slow down the rate of change, but here I don't know. If I don't, the issue is that's something I want to change, and if I don't have the visual clue of if I'm doing it wrong or good or wrong, that's difficult. So next session I'm probably going to put the camera on Faison view, the iPhone, so we have a clear picture of the right elbow, and the idea is not to make change. It's just that I know what I need to do, and I just need to see if I'm doing it or not. And if I'm not doing it, I need to do it. That's as simple as that. It's not about making change. It's just about trying to do the things that I know I should be doing. Well, because here's the deal. When I'm talking about change, it's change in my mind, not change in my swing. Change is the swing evolve on a daily basis in terms of sensation and so on. But the model I have in my mind of the swing I should be doing, this is those change. When I'm talking about change, this is those change, because those are really structural change. Is the way I think about the golf swing, where when I'm putting the camera and start adjusting things and so on, technically that's changing. That's not changing in the sense that I'm not questioning the framework in which I think I should be swinging the golf club. I'm trying to make my golf swing fit the framework that I have in my mind. So, and this is how I stay consistent. Because me, for a very long time, that was really the main issue that I had, is this framework that I had in my head was constantly changing. And so, but as I'm stabilizing everything, understanding more and more the golf swing and so on, this framework that I have in my head is slowly getting more and more resilient to change, and so that's eventually, I hope, what's going to allow me to stay consistent. Because it has always been that there is this framework, and there is the way my swing is on a daily basis. And my swing kind of change depending on sensation, but this framework is the only thing I kind of rely on. But until now, that was kind of difficult because everything was changing. The framework, the swing, everything all the time. But now the framework slowly starts stabilizing, and as the framework is stabilizing, I'm going to be able to actually stay a much more having a swing that also is changing less and less over time, because that's kind of the chaos theory. You see, there is, so in chaos you have movements that appear to be completely random and not have any order, but they have what is called a strange attractor. I believe that's the term in English, which mainly means that when you look at the movement without understanding the attractors, it may seem that the movement is random, but when you are having a movement for enough iteration, for instance, 1,000 million time, a million iteration of the same movement, you can see pattern emerge, and those patterns are what the strange attractors are. And so the idea is the same here: is my sensation, my body, the day, the condition, and so on, everything is changing around me. But the only thing that can attract everything to stabilize as much as possible the movement, the outcome around me, is the framework that I have in my mind of what I'm supposed to be doing. And so that's how I try to stabilize and build consistency over time, is by having this framework that is more and more stable as I'm getting better and better. That's primarily it. Anyway, that's the end of the week. I'm really tired. Tomorrow is a chill day. We will do the weekly recap. I've completely forgot to do actually the mesocycle on the spreadsheet. I might have to work on that as well. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for the weekly recap.